guys, this is Jella and welcome back to my channel. Some of you guys suggested another town series for Japan build and a Christmas town build. And I love both of them, so I made a poll a few days ago in which town we would do for this month of November. This was a close vote, and we will be making the Japan-inspired no Gamepass town for November's build. Either way, we would do both of this towns, so don't you guys worry. And if you guys do not have any Gamepass and you want to build a small Japanese town, then this is for you. So I made the town layout first, trying to plot out some spaces for the shops. This is the town layout, so feel free to pause the video, but I will still show you guys how I made it since some of you like to see how I mark up the spaces. So I use a plain marking fence to plot out the spaces for each shop or build. I also searched up some inspirations on making this small Japanese town. Do not expect to see large buildings in this town and electrical wirings above since we do not have any Gamepass. As much as I want to add those, this is a no Gamepass build, so we will make the most out of it. If you noticed in the layout I posted, there is already a specific build I have in mind, so the next parts will be as followed. I keep on changing the entrance part of the town, but I finalized it to be at the center, and as you enter the town, the convenience store will be at your front. I think having the store in the middle for easy access is a great option. And on the upper right corner would be a family house. Because of limited space and a small plot, I decided to only have one family house and then just make an apartment hotel on the left corner side. So next to the small shops is a public bath house, which is very common in Japan. I really want to make a larger space for this, but since we have a small space, I think this would be enough for now. I also added a parking space beside the bathhouse and in front of the apartment hotel. This is an easy access to those traveling or visiting this town. For the streets, we would be using a dark stone gray floor, and I love using slate for the texture on road streets. I just made half of the flooring for easy pinpoints on the corners, but it is up to you how you add flooring. Now for the sidewalk area, I left the angled tile space. I wanted to use a textured pattern, so if we add the angled spaces, it would look crooked or glitched. So I used this asphalt texture in cloudy gray color. I'm gonna fill out all the sidewalk using this textured tile, except in the family house. Now that we have the sidewalks, we can delete the fence markings we made earlier, and I'm just gonna fast forward the very timely process of me deleting each fences. You can bulldoze the plot, but keep the floors before you bulldoze. But since I want to leave the markings for the parking space and the family house, I just deleted it manually. Let's add pedestrian lanes, and we will use this long carpet again and just color it white. I didn't change the texture, so we will place 4 long carpets each. Make sure that it is placed uniformly so it looks better and not crooked. I'm just gonna add one near the apartment and one going to the konbini or convenience store. Now that we have all crosswalks, we can add a short fence on the sidewalks. So I copied the texture of the sidewalk but made the color a bit darker shade. So leave a space on the pedestrian lanes and the house. I'm also gonna add the short fence on the sides of the parking space. So delete the plain marking first to get a few money from that. And because this part 1 of the town is just the layout, I'm going to add floorings on each build space so I wouldn't see the plain grass in the empty spaces. This is for the purpose of the video only, so you guys would not see the empty grass on the thumbnail, hehe. Now let's add some street signs, and we will just place this crosswalk sign on the pedestrian lanes. So we will be adding some trees around the town, and as much as I want to use the cherry blossom tree, it's still locked. So we will just use the large organic tree, and of course we will recolor this pink so it would look like a cherry blossom, hehe. I also added a square planter because the round one was too small for the tree. Just recolor the border of the planter to match the sidewalk texture. And since this is a large tree, I'm just gonna add this in large spaces where the walls or roof of the building would not poke through. And let's add this rough cypress tree, which is my favorite. I'm gonna recolor this the same as the large tree, and I used the round planter for this since this is my favorite combo. We can add a few of this tree around the corner since it is smaller and thin. To add more plants in this town, I'm also adding this long wooden planter, which is my favorite to add in my town builds. This gives a bit of color and soft touch to every town build. Now we cannot add a larger type of plant, so we will still use the spider plant and just recolor this. I used a light green, dark green, and pink in the middle. Just add the planters around the town, and you can add more if you like, but it costs $460 each. Now let's add this round trash bin, and I'm just gonna change the color to a lighter gray shade. Place the trash bins near the cypress tree or the pedestrian lanes. Let's add a fence to close off the parking space. And I'm just gonna use the chain link fence and recolor this dark stone gray. I also changed the color of the parking lines to a grayish shade so it would not look too white and bright. For the street lights, of course we will use this street light, and I will just change the lighting tone to linen and the metal color to dark gray. Just gonna add a few on each block so it wouldn't be too bright. I'm gonna add a slow speed sign on the road, going to the residential house, and another one on the curve area of the apartment. Now for the timely part of this build, we will be adding a parking bumper on the parking spaces using the small box. And because we don't have any Gamepass, we have to use the delete undo technique when we place the small boxes together. So delete the first box and then drag the second box closer to the first box you deleted. Now press Ctrl-Z on the keyboard at the same time left-click mouse to place the second item. If you are not new to this channel, we have been doing a lot of this build hack, so you might get used to it. This is going to be tricky, but just try it again if it doesn't work the first try. And if you think we are done in the convenience store, we still have a parking space here, hehe. I made the last space here for bike lanes, so we have one less bumper to do. So yeah, if you do not want to add a bumper, feel free to leave it blank. But if you have an advanced placing, you can add it easily using structurals. Now we are adding bollards in front of the parking space for safety hazards. We do not want cars driving inside the convenience store, right? I'm also adding a few in the parking area and near the apartment. Since this is a small town, we cannot drive faster, so I'm gonna add a 30 km/h max in the flooring. You might wonder how we can mark the floors. We will use a ruler and just write down 30 in the middle of the road. And I noticed that it wasn't centered. So I moved everything a bit to the right. I also added another marking on the other side near the parking area. I wanted to add a small bus stop and I was looking for a space to add. So I will just cut off one row from the convenience store so we could add a bus stop here. Add a square thick pillar and change the color to a grayish metal shade. Now add a wall and recolor this dark stone gray. And then we will add 2 commercial windows. Make sure to color the glass grayish shade so it would look natural. And then we will add a bench seating. For the roof, I am going to use the flat roof, but if you like to use the glass roof, it would also look good. But since I will place a ceiling light here, I preferred to use the plain flat roof. And then I moved the stop sign from the parking and I think it looks better in here. I also moved the trash bin on the side since there will always be a trash bin on bus stops or where people would usually pass by. I'm gonna add some posters on the window and just use the delete undo technique to place the posters. I'm also gonna add the square framed painting on the side pillar. I haven't made any decals for this bus stop, so I will just search up from the free images search bar later. And we are done. So this is the part 1 in our no Gamepass Japan town. So right now the plot value is $40,686. Well, the trees are a bit expensive, hehe. Anyways, if you want to build a small Japan town but you have no Gamepass, then this is for you. We will make 8 more parts in this town and hopefully be able to finish this before December starts. So this is the small shops and then the public bathhouse. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick tour of the empty plot and what we will be doing. So over here is the convenience store with parking space and then the cafe over there. We have the restaurants over here. So this block is food businesses. And over this right corner, we will make a family house. I just made this all gray for now for the sake of the video, hehe. And this one is the apartment hotel, and then we have the parking area over here. Lastly, this is our mini bus stop. A last-minute decision that I added, hehe. So excited to add more stuff in here like the vending machines, and yeah, this is our small Japan town for now. Thank you guys for watching. I would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos I upload. Help me reach 10,000 subs before 2024 ends. This would help me a lot, especially in making future videos for you all. Love you guys. All the build information will be in the description box. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. Love you all and take care. See you on my next video.